Hey everyone, welcome back to This Week in Maritime History, where we dive into the most fascinating and pivotal events from this week in naval and maritime history. From massive oil spills to the birth of the aircraft carrier and a dramatic battle at sea, this week is packed with incredible stories. And if you have a maritime event you'd like us to feature, let us know in the comments or email us at comments@ShipIndex.org. Now, let's get started. On March 16, 1978, the oil tanker Amoco Cadiz ran aground off the coast of Brittany, France, causing what was, at the time, the largest oil spill in history. The ship was only a few years old when it suffered rudder failure during a storm, leaving it unable to steer. Despite desperate attempts to tow it to safety and drop anchors, the ship ultimately crashed into the rocks, rupturing its hull and releasing all of its oil and fuel into the sea. The disaster was devastating to marine life and coastal communities. In an effort to limit further damage, the wreck was bombed to sink it, a strategy also used after the Torrey Canyon disaster just 11 years earlier. Speaking of Torrey Canyon, that brings us to March 18, 1967, when another catastrophic oil spill occurred. The SS Torrey Canyon, a massive oil tanker, ran aground off the coast of Cornwall, England, spilling much of its cargo. The British government took a dramatic approach, bombing the spill site with large bombs, jet fuel, rockets, and even napalm in an effort to burn off the oil. Unfortunately, the plan didn't work as well as hoped, and the spill caused severe environmental damage along the coast. Now, let's shift gears to a game-changing moment in naval warfare. On March 20, 1922, the USS Langley was commissioned as America's first aircraft carrier. Just 18 years after the Wright brothers' first flight, the U.S. Navy converted an old coal-carrying ship called Jupiter into Langley's CV-1, outfitting it with a wooden flight deck for launching and landing planes. Langley was a crucial step forward in military aviation, but her service came to a tragic end during World War II. In 1942, she was attacked by Japanese bombers, sustaining so much damage that the U.S. Navy was forced to scuttle the ship to prevent it from falling into enemy hands. Finally, let's head back to the early 19th century for an incredible tale of exploration, survival, and battle at sea. On March 22, 1811, the Tonquin, a fur trading ship, arrived at the Columbia River on the U.S. West Coast. The treacherous waters of the Columbia Bar claimed 8 sailors, but the remaining crew managed to make it to shore and established what would later become Astoria, Oregon. But the Tonquin's journey wasn't over. Continuing north to trade furs, the ship ran into deadly conflict with the Tla-o-qui-aht people in what is now British Columbia. A battle broke out, leading to the deaths of almost the entire crew, except for 4 sailors who survived the initial attack. One of them, badly wounded and left aboard, made a final shocking decision. He lit a fuse to the ship's powder magazine, detonating the entire ship and killing as many as 100 people in the explosion. The only survivor? A Quinault translator, who escaped and eventually made it back to Fort Astoria to tell the harrowing tale. And that wraps up This Week in Maritime History. Which of these stories did you find the most interesting? Let us know in the comments. If you love exploring the stories of ships in the sea, be sure to subscribe to ShipIndex.org and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. And don't forget, if there's a maritime event you think we should feature, let us know. Until next time, happy sailing!